So we've got another video explaining some of the issues that are going on in Iran, and Lester's very helpfully got a map of Iran which are going to explain the significance of different features for us.
Yeah, good. And hopefully we'll put it up bigger on screen for you, because there's something really important to understand about Iran that a lot of people don't. If you look at it, Iran is an extension of the Himalayas, and you'll see down here, I'm pointing to it here, but we'll put it bigger up a larger view on screen, extremely mountainous. Think the Himalayas, but at a lower altitude. And there's 90 million people live through this country, which is extremely mountainous. And that poses a big issue for any invading force. So anybody that tries to invade is really invading through mountains. Unlike Iraq, which, if you can see over here, was very flat, and you could send in masses of tanks and troops, you cannot do that in this environment. So the geography is the worst enemy of any country trying to invade, and that geography stops America winning the war. It's just simply impossible for them to win the war. Doesn't mean the Iranians can beat the Americans. All it means is there's no way of taming the attitude of the Iranians to whatever America wants.
So we've got basically another Afghanistan or another Vietnam where it's not likely to be finished quickly. It potentially goes on for a very long time.
The big difference in this one is for 40 years the Iranians had planned on making sure the Western world wouldn't get oil down here, this side. Right, that's been their strategy all that time. So now, by Trump attacking them, he shortened the fuse, and they are now doing that, and they're using that as the leverage to get what they want, which is they are going to control the oil that comes out of here, and who gets it and how they get it.
So what's really important, this is the strait that we're hearing so much about on the news, and it only has one entrance. The entrance is down over this side. It's basically a dead end coming into all the other oil nations, which is scattered around here, and there's no easy other access whatsoever for them to export their oil, as I understand it.
Not in bulk. We can get, let's say, 1 or 2 million when we need, in oil terms, we need roughly 21, 22 million barrels a day for our side of the world, and then they also produce about another 8 million barrels equivalent of chemicals. So there's about 30 million barrels, or 30% of the overall world's export needs come out of that Gulf, and that's been cut off like zero. And I'll go back to what I said the other day. New Zealand 100% dependent on that oil. Australia about 88% dependent on that oil.
So we have nothing apart from what's coming out of here. And just so people get a scale of this, you're saying this is about 500 miles, about 800 kilometres from the dangerous area south of Iran through to the end where some of the oil's collected from?
If they were to police that with a naval force, they'd have to police nearly 800 kilometres with, let's say, 6 Navy ships per ship.
And we're talking how many ships coming and going?
Well, currently there's 800 trapped in the Persian Gulf. 800. 200 of them are large oil tankers that can't go either way. And outside of the Gulf, there's a whole lot of other oil tankers that can't go anywhere either.
Who are waiting, hoping that they may be able to get in, waiting to see what happens.
Yeah, so we've got a log jam for everywhere east of there, which is the Asian world, everything from China, Japan, India, South Korea, everything is log jammed right now, waiting, and we're all run out. And if we go back to New Zealand, its prospects of getting any oil are practically zero, because it can't come from here. And then we are now competing with the other options, which would principally be Russia, and we just can't compete. We're never getting it.
And we don't refine our own oil, so not only do we have to secure access to oil from here and get it somehow out of here, it then has to be processed, in Singapore or Korea?
Most of it's Korea.
And then it has to be shipped to New Zealand. So we have to get the oil, we have to get the processing, we have to get the shipping, and they're all becoming really difficult.
It used to be a constant stream. It was a logistical setup. It was almost click and number, but now it's all broke. That's all fragmented. We don't know what ships we've got. We don't know what refineries will work for us. And by the way, we're missing one major one, which is aviation fuel, which is principally refined in China. Right. China's not doing any exports, so we don't even know if we've got any fuel for planes.
So when we say refined, but it's still being sourced from here,
material.
All of the raw ingredients are blocked by this. And in terms of the timing, and if say America and Iran miraculously agreed to end the war tomorrow, how long is it going to take for ships to be able to get in there? I know it's a bit of a difficult question, but just as an indication.
They're ready to go now, but the real problem is if you think it through long enough, the mining in here, the only way to clear those mines quickly is to get the people that put them in there to take them out.
Assuming they know where they put them exactly.
They probably do, roughly. If you don't do that, you have to use very specialised boats and equipment to go scanning to figure out where they are, and that's where the 4 months comes in.
So the good news that I was hoping you could tell me is that these mine hunting boats are waiting ready to go, but I gather that's not the case either.
Okay, after the Iraq War, there was a whole lot of mines put in the Gulf here. It took 2 years to clear them.
Wow.
All right, and the ships they used for clearing them have progressively been scrapped, and the last few ships were scrapped. The last 4 were shipped out from down near the Gulf, the entrance to the Persian Gulf here, 2 weeks prior to the USA attacking Iran. Literally 2 weeks before, they put 4 of them on a boat, a floaty boat, that took those boats back for scrapping. So there is zero, absolutely none, and the prospect of getting any minesweepers is almost zero as well, because there's not that many in the world, not many navies carry them. So now, and the experts, frankly, are the British, and they've got none left.
Wow.
Oh, I think they've got one, but it's in repair.
Can they relocate them from anywhere else? Is it who
No,
has?
that's the problem. No navy in the world really thinks mines are a big issue, bar probably the Baltic nations, right, with Russia. So no one's really got the ships to put here to do the minesweeping, and if they did, it would still take 4 months.
So best scenario, if there's an end to the war and Iran fully cooperates and they know where the mines are, they know how many they've laid, they know where they are, and they cooperate to remove them, what sort of time frame are we talking for the mines to be removed, and then secondly for boats to come in and get fuel and get it to New Zealand?
The most optimistic would be 2 months for us to get a landed boat, one.
Right.
More likely, and here's the issue, we are now seeing discussions about what ships will even remain in service. So can we get a ship, for number one? And then we need a string of them. We need a string of them from there to Asia to refine, and we need a string going back and forward all the time up to Asia to pick up the refined material. I got to say, at the moment, I'm not hearing good news on that front. So best case scenario is 2 months after it got opened and we got a load out. So think New Zealand's got a load of oil going to Asia for refining 2 months later, right?
Yeah. So they've announced we've got fuel until the start of May.
10th of May, roughly,
10th of
on
May.
the 50 days. Yeah.
So if it's 2 months, we're still going to have a shortfall, even very, very best scenario.
Oh no, let me go back. If today the Iranians got those mines out, that's not going to happen. So if today we had minesweepers, it would take 4 months to open the strait.
Yes.
Right?
If the Iranians don't take them out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
If the Iranians do, the very best scenario, the Iranians say, okay, we've got 3 mines, we know exactly where they are, we'll go and get them this week, sort of thing. If they can do that, I don't know how long it takes, but if they do that, then it's still 2 months to get the boats in and to get the fuel and to get to Korea and process it and get it to New Zealand.
Yep. And the longer this war goes on, the less likely that 2 months is.
Yes.
Because the ships that we need, the logistics and the shipping are falling to pieces in the background for every nation.
Yeah, because what happens to the ships that are just sitting there unable to go anywhere?
Well, those ships right now, they haven't got fuel. They're trying to find ways to get crews home, at least most of the crew. They need to refuel just to keep the ship active. And then on top of that, a lot of these ships need fuel to keep refrigerated containers and the likes going as well.
So that's something we haven't talked about. So when you're talking about refrigerating containers, you're talking about New Zealand meat going into...
It's in there right now.
Right, so it's come from New Zealand, it's heading in the other direction, or it's sitting on the outside hoping to get in?
No, it's in trapped.
It's in trapped. So what I see, so once they're there, they're just stationary.
Right now, any ship that's gone in there can't debunk.
Right.
Can't unload its load. So we've got...
So they're basically anchored wherever they are because they don't know where the mines are.
Well, they can't operate the ports.
Right.
Because they keep sending over drones.
Right.
So
wow.
There's a real...
Okay.
It's the shipping industry in itself is in a total disarray right now around the world because the backup of these ships is causing backups in other ports. So they've got containers at ports. The ports are overloaded and they can't get rid of the containers because they're waiting for the ships to come from here. So there's the shipping industry, every nation, the shipping industry is going, what do? We are not prepared for this. If the war ends and they now try to unravel that,
Yep.
you've got a logistic nightmare. It's going to take months. And from New Zealand's point of view, how do we incentivise anyone to go get some oil and get it refined for us? We are down the list. Like Japan they can afford to pay the most. South Korea probably second most. Australia more than us. So we're not going to be the highest payer. Therefore, we'll get the least response.
We're not the highest payer, and we're the furthest away.
Correct. And you think of this too. Any ship that comes here, and the same with aircraft, it's got to then get back.
Yes.
So when it gets here and there's no fuel.
And there's no fuel. Well, can it
How
keep
does it get back?
No, it can't even keep a little bit of the fuel that it's come in with, because it's a different form of fuel that it needs.
You end up with shipping that's going, okay, if I've got enough to get back to Australia, that's okay. But if you're asking me to go Korea to New Zealand and back, it's not okay. It's very difficult. There are so many questions from an international point of view. Trade is one of them. And now we've got to consider what don't we get in the near future. Well,
let's talk about that as another topic, shall we? Yeah.
There is so many topics now that are. This is a big domino hitting lots of dominoes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.